The United Kingdom has stood with Ukraine right from the beginning, and we pledged some time ago that for every year this war continues, we will be with Ukraine politically, economically, and militarily. Our announcement today, of course, comes on the back of successes on the battlefield, a strong and good G7, which was a strong statement from the United States as well as European partners on the situation, and a desire to support Ukraine until we get that peace.
And, sir, you mentioned the G7. There was a statement with language that objectively was much stronger than a lot of people believe would end up in the declaration. And there's also a form of unanimity now with the United States seemingly also endorsing the language. Do you get a sense that both the UK and the Europeans, you've managed to sway the US president, and now he agrees with you? Ukraine is in better shape than it seemed at the start of the year.
I think we'll see in NATO in the coming weeks that the United States is seeing Europeans step up in terms of our commitments to defense and to spend across Europe. I think we must recognize the progress that we're seeing from Ukraine on the battlefield. We also see in Russia recession beginning to bite, a huge casualty loss now of soldiers, well over 1 million dying. And so I think we also recognize that this is the moment to keep Ukraine in the fight, to increase our suppression, if you like, of what the Russians are doing, and to support Ukraine to the very end.
And you have one of the best intelligence services in the world, so you would know what those raids on the ground look like. But I have to ask you on the sanctions front, because that was also meaningful coming out of the G7, the idea that sanctions would get tighter. There was a concern because of the energy crisis that there could be relief on Russian energy. Is that changing? Are you making plans to really go rough again on the sanctions with the rest of the G7?
We're really clear. We have ramped up our sanctions. You saw also the interdiction from the UK of the Russian shadow fleet just a few weeks ago. Our 6th package of sanctions, more to come. I was very clear when I was Foreign Secretary that we would continue to bear down on Russian aggression, Russian money, dirty money that's financing this war. And we're really pleased that our European partners continue to do that as well. And we have also seen, I think, since the elections in Hungary, a more united front right across Europe.
Certainly on the sanctions, you mentioned NATO. The summit is really around the corner. Can you carry that momentum into Ankara, or do you worry there's a scenario too in which the president will say, you didn't really help in Iran, I'm not going to help any further?
I think that we will see that momentum into Ankara. And look, I think it is important to recognize that European bases were being used, certainly here in Poland, in Germany, in the United Kingdom, to support efforts in the Strait of Hormuz. We've had the Coalition of the Willing as well, that the UK and France have sponsored once the war is fully over and we've seen demining in the Strait of Hormuz. So I think for all of those reasons, I expect to see a successful NATO conference.
So you don't see possible backlash? And just a final question. Of course, the UK is now in a moment of transition politically. There will be a new prime minister. Is there a concern, or was there a message that you gave to your European and Ukrainian allies that the fundamentals of foreign policy of the United Kingdom will not change when it comes to security, when it comes to Ukraine?
There's absolutely no question of a change in foreign policy. We have remained committed to Ukraine through successive governments, and that will continue. And we have been absolutely clear, reconnected with the global community, a European reset, all of that continues despite...
There's no rupture. That was your message.
Rupture is not a word that's ever been... I think that was used by the Canadians. It's certainly not been used by the UK.